March 8, 2014, began like any other at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. The air was thick with anticipation as travelers hurried through the terminal, some saying quick goodbyes, others excited for new adventures. The airport, a hub of activity, was alive with the sounds of rolling suitcases and boarding calls echoing through the halls. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a Boeing 777-200ER, was bound for Beijing with 239 people on board. Among them were families, business travelers, students, and crew members, each with their own stories and destinations. The flight was a routine red-eye, one of many that night, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The crew, led by an experienced captain, completed their checks as the plane prepared for its routine overnight journey. Every switch, dial, and system was double-checked, following strict protocols designed to ensure a safe flight. The passengers settled in, unaware of the fate that awaited them. At 12:41 a.m., MH370 lifted off, climbing into the night sky. The city lights faded below as the aircraft soared above the clouds, beginning what should have been a straightforward journey to Beijing. For 38 minutes, everything was normal. The plane reached cruising altitude, and air traffic controllers tracked its progress on their glowing radar screens. In the cabin, passengers dozed off or watched movies, trusting in the routine of modern air travel. At 1:19 a.m., the co-pilot radioed, "Good night, Malaysian 370. It was a standard handoff, a simple farewell, as the flight prepared to enter Vietnamese airspace. 2 minutes later, the plane's transponder was switched off. MH370 vanished from civilian radar, leaving only a ghostly trace on military screens. Controllers tried to make contact, but there was only silence, no distress call, no mayday. Confusion grew as repeated attempts to reach the crew went unanswered. The world slept, unaware that a modern jet had disappeared without a trace. Families dreamed peacefully, not knowing their loved ones were lost somewhere over the vast, dark sea. The search for answers would soon begin, but the truth was already lost to the night. In the hours that followed, hope would turn to fear, and questions would multiply. The greatest aviation mystery of our time had just begun, casting a shadow over the world and leaving millions searching for answers that may never come. The Boeing 777 was a model of reliability, a technological marvel trusted by airlines and passengers around the world for its safety and performance. On this night, it was flown by Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a seasoned pilot with years of experience, and his co-pilot, Fariq Abdul Hamid, who was eager to learn from his mentor. Their route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing was well-traveled and uneventful, until it wasn't. The flight was scheduled to last just over 6 hours, crossing the South China Sea in the quiet of night. After takeoff, the plane followed its planned path, communicating as expected with air traffic control. Everything seemed normal as the jet climbed into the darkness, its passengers settling in for the overnight journey. The last voice transmission from the cockpit was routine, a calm exchange with Malaysian controllers. But the crucial handover to Vietnamese airspace controllers never happened, leaving a gap in communication. When the transponder was cut, MH370 became invisible to civilian radar. The plane, once so visible and accounted for, simply vanished from screens. Vietnamese and Malaysian controllers tried to reach the flight, but there was no response. Calls went unanswered, and confusion began to spread in the control rooms. Minutes turned to hours. An aircraft with 239 people had simply vanished. Families and friends waiting for news grew increasingly anxious as the night dragged on. No emergency signal was detected. Authorities were left with no idea where to search, forced to rely on incomplete data and fading hope. Initial efforts focused on the South China Sea, but nothing was found. The vastness of the ocean made the task daunting, and every hour without answers deepened the mystery. Ships and planes from multiple countries scoured the area, searching for any sign of wreckage. The world watched as the search expanded, but the ocean yielded no clues. Families waited in agony, clinging to hope as the world woke up to a baffling disappearance. Each passing moment brought more questions and fewer answers. The routine flight had become a global enigma, dominating headlines and sparking theories across continents. The mystery deepened with every passing hour, as investigators struggled to piece together the fate of MH370, a flight that began as routine, but ended in darkness and uncertainty. While civilian radar lost MH370, military radar picked up an unidentified aircraft making a sharp U-turn west. This was no accident. The maneuver was deliberate, likely programmed by someone with expertise. The plane flew back across the Malay Peninsula, then out over the Strait of Malacca and the Andaman Sea. Military radar tracked it for over an hour before it vanished into the Indian Ocean. The revelation changed everything. The plane had flown on, far from the original search area. The deliberate disabling of communications and precise navigation pointed to human intervention. Was it a hijacking? A pilot's plan? No one knew. The search zone now spanned a vast, remote ocean. Investigators were left with chilling questions and a trail gone cold. MH370 had become a ghost flight, expertly guided into oblivion. The world was hunting for a phantom. A breakthrough came from British satellite company Inmarsat. Even after radar contact was lost, MH370's satellite system kept sending hourly pings. For nearly 7 hours, these signals proved the plane was still flying. By analyzing the timing and frequency of the pings, engineers mapped possible flight paths. The final ping, at 8:19 a.m., placed the plane at the edge of the satellite's range, likely out of fuel. The data pointed to the remote southern Indian Ocean, west of Australia. The search area was now a vast, hostile expanse of water. The satellite pings were the only clue, but the area to search was enormous. The ghost flight had ended, but the search for answers was just beginning. Finding the wreckage would be like searching for a needle in a continent-sized haystack. The world launched an unprecedented search in the southern Indian Ocean. Australia led the effort, joined by over 24 countries. Aircraft and ships scoured millions of square kilometers, battling brutal weather and vast distances. False alarms abounded, but no wreckage was found. The search shifted underwater, using sonar and robotic submarines to scan the ocean floor. For nearly 3 years, ships combed an area larger than South Korea. Despite spending over $150 million, the official search ended in 2017 with no trace of the main wreckage. A private company, Ocean Infinity, searched again in 2018. Still nothing. The greatest search in aviation history had failed. The world was left to wonder, how could a modern jet simply vanish? The mystery endured. In July 2015, hope returned when a flaperon from MH370 washed ashore on Reunion Island. It was the first confirmed piece of wreckage, proving the plane had crashed in the Indian Ocean. Over the next years, more debris appeared on African shores, parts of the wing, cabin, and tail. Each fragment was a message from the deep, but none revealed the full story. Analysis suggested the plane crashed at high speed, likely uncontrolled at the end. The debris confirmed the fate of MH370, but not the cause. Ocean currents had scattered the pieces, making it impossible to pinpoint the crash site. For some families, the debris brought closure. For others, only more questions. Without the main wreckage or black boxes, the central mystery remained. The puzzle was still missing its most crucial pieces. With no main wreckage ever found, speculation and theories flourished across the globe. The disappearance of MH370 became a puzzle that captivated the world, with experts and amateurs alike searching for answers. The leading theory suggests deliberate action by someone in the cockpit, possibly Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. Investigators examined his background, flight simulator data, and personal life, but no clear motive or definitive proof was ever found to support this idea. Another theory points to hijacking by unknown parties. Yet no terrorist group claimed responsibility, and there were no ransom demands or political statements, leaving this scenario shrouded in uncertainty. Some suggest a catastrophic mechanical failure or an onboard fire. However, the deliberate course changes made by the aircraft are difficult to reconcile with a sudden emergency or loss of control. A decompression event is also considered. A sudden loss of cabin pressure could have left everyone on board unconscious, allowing the plane to continue flying on autopilot for hours until it ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. Despite years of investigation, official reports found no conclusive evidence to support any single theory. The lack of physical evidence has made it nearly impossible to rule out possibilities. More speculative ideas, such as a cyber hijack or even an accidental shoot-down by a military force, have been widely dismissed by experts, but they continue to fuel debate and conspiracy theories online. Without the crucial flight data and cockpit voice recorders, all these theories remain unproven. The black boxes, if ever recovered, could finally reveal what happened in MH370's final hours. Each explanation has its flaws and leaves many unanswered questions, keeping investigators and families searching for closure. The truth remains locked away with the wreckage, somewhere deep in the vast and unforgiving ocean, beyond the reach of current search efforts. MH370's fate endures as one of aviation's greatest and most haunting mysteries, a story that continues to baffle experts and haunt the families of those lost. The world is left to wonder what really happened that night, hoping that someday, the answers will finally surface. The main wreckage and black boxes have never been found, leaving the case unsolved. Without them, investigators rely on radar and satellite data, enough to suggest where, but not why. The southern Indian Ocean's vast, rugged depths make searching nearly impossible. Even advanced technology can't guarantee success in such a hostile environment. The official 2018 report concluded, the cause of MH370's disappearance could not be determined. The report confirmed deliberate course changes and disabled communications, but assigned no blame. Only finding the wreckage can provide answers. The mystery endures because it defies our belief that nothing can simply vanish in the modern world. For families, it's not just a story, it's a painful, ongoing reality. Their quest for truth keeps the search alive. MH370 remains a haunting reminder of the limits of our knowledge. The legacy of MH370 is one of grief, resilience, and relentless pursuit of answers. Families have become advocates, ensuring the world does not forget. Their efforts have driven changes in aviation. Planes now report positions more frequently, and new tracking systems can't be disabled. Future flight recorders will be ejectable, designed to float after a crash. In 2025, a new search led by Ocean Infinity will begin, armed with better technology and hope. The world will watch, waiting for closure. MH370's story is a humbling reminder of mystery and loss. It stands as a monument to the 239 souls lost and the families who wait. Until the wreckage is found, the questions will echo on. The sky still holds the memory of the plane that